He gave the order. Move forward. The men moved. Some of them were gone within seconds. He saw it. He understood immediately. He could not take it back. The order had already left him, already in the air, already in their legs, already moving them across the sand. Before the cost arrived, before he could see what the next second held, he had already said it. Too late. They followed him. That was the problem. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They moved when he said move. They trusted the direction. They believed the order meant something, and it did. It just also cost them everything. He was moving too. He could not stand still and watch. He was part of it. He had started it. There was no position outside the order where he could observe it cleanly. He was inside it, moving with them, watching it happen from inside the thing he had caused. He could not take it back. It was already done. Omaha Beach, June 6, 1944. The plan was gone before the ramps dropped. Units broke apart in the water. Men drowned before they reached the sand. Those who made it to the beach found strangers around them. Different companies, different units, no structure. Officers gone, sergeants gone. The organization that existed on the ships did not exist on the sand. What existed on the sand was fire, continuous fire, from the bluffs above. German positions built into the high ground, reinforced, intact, ready, open sand, no cover, fire that did not stop. And he had already given the order. The waterline was not a position, it was a place to die. Slowly, but certainly. Every second of staying was its own decision. Every second of staying had its own cost. He had seen it clearly. Staying meant dying there. Moving meant something else. He did not know exactly what. He could not see the specific positions above. He could not calculate which path was less exposed. He did not have that information. Nobody did. He gave the order anyway. Because the alternative was already showing him its cost. Because staying was already killing the men around him. Because forward was the only direction that led anywhere else. He said it. It was done. The men who fell had followed his order. That is the chain. Order, movement, consequence. He gave the first. They gave the second. The third arrived before he could process it, before he could separate what was happening from what he had caused. He had caused the movement. The movement had entered the fire. The fire did not stop. He could not undo any part of that chain. It was already done. It had happened in seconds. The German defenses had not been reduced. The pre-landing bombardment had missed. The naval fire had not reached the reinforced positions. The men who came ashore came into defenses that were fully intact. Nobody on that beach knew the full picture. Nobody had accurate information about what was above them. They had maps that did not match the ground. They had plans that did not match the conditions. They had orders built on assumptions that were already wrong before the first man hit the water. He had made his decision inside that, inside the wrong information, inside the missing picture, inside the gap between what the plan said and what the sand actually was. He had given the order inside that gap, and the men had followed, and the seconds had come. It was the right order. That didn't save them. Both of those things are true, at the same time, on the same sand, in the same seconds. The units that moved forward eventually broke the beach open. The units that stayed at the waterline died at the waterline. Moving forward was correct. Moving forward cost lives. Both, simultaneously, with no gap between them. The correctness did not cancel the cost. The cost did not cancel the correctness. They existed together, in the same moment, in the same order, in the same seconds after he said it. He could not separate them. Nobody could. He could not know the outcome when he gave it. That is the weight of it. He made the calculation with what was available. Staying was certain death. Moving was uncertain. Uncertain was better than certain. That was the logic. That was the whole of the information he had, and he used it. He gave the order on the basis of that logic, and the logic was correct, and men died following it. He could not reach back through the seconds and pull the order out of the air. He could not stop the men who were already moving. He could not change what the next second contained. He had already said it. They were already moving. There was no stopping it now. This is the part that does not resolve. He survived that morning. Many men on Omaha Beach did not. He carried the order with him. He could not leave it on the sand. It came with him. The movement he had ordered, the men who had followed, the seconds that had come after. He carried the part that had worked. He carried the part that had cost. He could not separate them because they were not separate. They were the same order, the same moment, the same seconds, inseparable. There is no version of this where the information was complete. There is no version where he had enough to be certain. Nobody standing at that waterline had enough. Nobody on that beach had accurate sightlines. Nobody had a clear picture of the positions above. Nobody knew which path across the sand was more survivable. The information was always wrong. It was always incomplete. It was always behind what the moment required. He gave the order inside that. He could not wait for better information. Better information was not coming. The fire was not pausing while the picture clarified. The men were not safe while he thought it through. There was no time. There was never time on that beach. He decided in the time available, which was seconds, which was almost nothing, which was all there was. He gave the order. He meant it. It was done. He saw it. Too late to stop it. Too late to change it. Too late to do anything except continue moving in the direction he had ordered. Too late to be anything except part of the consequence of his own decision. He moved forward. The sand moved under him. The fire continued from above. He reached the seawall. Some of the men reached it with him. Some did not. He could not undo the difference between those two groups. He could not reallocate the cost. He could not make the calculation work out differently than it had. The order had gone out. The seconds had come. The difference was fixed. This is not about heroism. It is not about failure. It is about a decision made in seconds, with almost no information, under fire that did not pause, in the gap between what the plan said and what the sand actually was. He made the decision available to him. He gave the only order that pointed somewhere other than the waterline. He could not know its full cost before he gave it. Nobody can know that. Nobody ever knows that. You give the order, the seconds come, the cost arrives, and then you know. But by then the order is already out there, already carried by the men who followed it, already written into what happened next, and what happened next cannot be unmade. The cost and the correctness, together, in the same moment, neither one canceling the other, neither one making the decision simple. Both of them true, both of them permanent, both of them his. He carried them forward off that beach. He carried them through everything that came after, because they were not separate things. They were the same order, given once, in seconds, on open sand, under fire from above, with almost no information, with men who needed a direction, with one direction available. He gave it. You would not have more information than he had. You would be at the waterline, fire from above, open sand in front of you, men dying where they stop, men near you, looking at you, waiting. You would not have a clear picture of the positions. You would not have a survivable route mapped out. You would not have time to find one. You would have the same almost nothing he had. The direction, the reasoning, the seconds. You would look at the sand. You would look at the men. You would feel the fire. You would understand what staying meant. And you would have to decide. Right now. No more time. No more information. Just the moment. Just the order you were about to give. Just the knowledge that once you said it, it would be done. And you could not take it back. And the men would follow. And the seconds would come. And you would not know what the seconds contained until they arrived. You would not know. What would you do?